It's just common sense.
From your articles that you wrote for BTB, one of the most interesting things was how you had some sort of a Wi-Fi business when the real estate crashed, right, in 2008.
Right.
And that
Yep.
cash flow was so essential to you to be able to handle that risk and to handle that downturn. So you already had 3 streams of income, and just basically one of them failed for that short period of time. Whereas another person who just does real estate, they're done. The other thing that was fascinating was your credit was really affected by real estate
Bad.
compared to other businesses. Like if I start a YouTube channel and it fails, I just lost some time. I did nothing. There's no risk at all to that. Whereas mortgage failure, that's something you really have to consider.
Yeah, you can't even buy a car. You can't get a credit card. I mean, my credit, and I had always been good with money. Like I saved when I was younger because I grew up, pretty poor. So the value of a dollar was important to me growing up, or the value of stretching a dollar. So I was a big saver, big on credit, or big on a high credit score and things like that. My credit was in the high 700s probably before the 2005 2006 time period. It went to like 500 and something afterwards. You get hit with multiple foreclosures and deed in lieu of foreclosures and things like that. It's all over. And the problem with ruining your credit with real estate or anything is there's a 7-year recovery period. It starts to improve as as time passes. When you get to about the 3-year mark, let's say you have foreclosure in 2023, at about 2026, you'll start to see a little recovery in your credit score, but barely any. And then, it takes literally 7 years for that thing to fall off, and it's just, you lose a decade of your investment ability if you ruin your credit.
That is a very powerful way of putting it. Big opportunity cost there then. Really interesting that you said you grew up fairly poor, and I have a feeling your kids are not growing up fairly poor. How do you teach them about money? What access do you give them? What's your take on that?
So they all have to work for me. With the Amazon business, they have to work on that a little bit. They have jobs. My kids are 16 years old, 14 years old, and 12 years old, and all 3 of them work. I mean, not, my 16-year-old has a regular job, like at a gym. But my 14 and my 12-year-old, they'll work for me, helping with the Amazon business. They'll have chores to do that, they get an allowance for and things like that. We don't just throw money their way, and it's kind of, being divorced from their mother, we both just sat down and we got on the same page with, like, the kind of the money aspect of things is like, nothing in life's free, and because she's from New York, and, she was raised in a very poor household as well. And just the value that we kind of teach our kids, is like, look, you don't get whatever you want. You're going to get a clunker car when you're 16 unless you saved up quite a bit to help pay for it, and things like that. So
very
and my kids won't be getting all of my assets when I die either. Like I have a strategic kind of plan with how things are going to be. They're going to get a certain amount. And I read a comment, I don't know if it was from Warren Buffett or somebody else, but leave your kids enough to do what they want, but not do nothing, not like sit around and be a bum, as well. So.
Yeah, you definitely see in the news that the rich trust fund type kids, they always seem to have a big trouble in their life because they don't have a lot to work for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting news. One day I hope to be able to be in a position where I need to think about what I can let my kids have and stuff. That's the goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, growing up, my parents were very strict about that as well. I think it's very important.